morning, everyone. How you feel today? Great. Are you ready for 3 days of full information about how can we become more empowering on our leadership? Brilliant. Fantastic. Today, I would like to share with you a topic that is very close to my heart and that I have lived personally. But I hope this topic resonates with you, with all of you, men and women, because I strongly believe that equality starts from home. If we want to be more productive at work, let's start with our leadership at home. Let's get started. They're telling me a little bit to wait. Okay. So before we start, let's just get this clear. How many of you ladies are struggling with life balance? Anybody? Those are not? All of you have them perfectly done? Perfectly? No? Really? Well, for those that you didn't raise your hand, you can probably share your tips later. So, equality starts at home. Mutual responsibility at work to increase your productivity at work. I'm going to share with you a story, very personal story, and you probably relate to this. One Saturday afternoon, my family and I, my husband was driving the car, and I was putting my makeup in the car, trying to juggle makeup, blush, everything. And then suddenly my husband turns around and tells me, I don't get it. You're the first one to wake up, and you are not even ready. What? I look at him, raising my eyebrow, and I thought, you know what? He's actually got a point. That comment was lingering in my head constantly that day. And I started analyzing, why was that? So I reflected on my morning. I had been up at 6 o'clock, went to the gym, came back, prepared breakfast, got up the kids, fed them, got them ready, prepared the nappy bag and the snack bar and everything. I tidy up the bedrooms, I clean up the kitchen, and I shower. And then I reflected on what was my husband doing all that time. Well, interesting to find out that he had time to wake up, of course, to drink his cup of tea that he loves in the morning, as his English. He also had time to shave and shower. Oh, and entertain the kids for a little while. I thought, really? The interesting thing is this was on a Saturday morning, but my life was actually like that every single day. With a difference that during the week, I actually had to drive the kids to school. I also had to take them to play days, to organize activities, take them to extracurricular classes, prepare meals. And I thought, okay, and this is all what I was trying to jiggle and handle my business. And when I say trying, it's because I was literally trying because I wasn't getting anywhere. So, the next day on Sunday, I had a really serious conversation with him. I said, I actually have an answer for you. And I came across with all the list of the things that I do during the week and during the weekend. And he said, oh, I didn't realize. You could have asked me for help. What? For help? We were in a marriage. You're supposed to collaborate, right? I don't ask for help for somebody who's willing to go the same path, where we're going towards the same direction, that we have the same goals, raising our kids and having a happy family. So that was like an eye-opening for me. And I started thinking, this is there's something that I'm not doing right. I need to change, and also the way I'm doing things. Because if the things that I've been doing doesn't work and it's not achieving me the result that I want, I need to change the strategy. So, Influence of a Housewife. This is a very interesting article that I found in the Hindu newspaper. And this is something that it relates of how housewives are very similar to CEOs, with a difference that many differences, but also very similarities. CEOs, they handle and they manage a lot of people. They also work towards a goal. They also have different departments, right? They have the finance, the legal, human resources. At the same time, the housewife as well has a lot of people to handle. They also have different departments, because if you don't realize, in a household you have finance, legal, education, you also have medical, so you are juggling all these activities. And sometimes, if you have children, creatures that sometimes you don't even know how to raise them. The difference is that a CEO might work 12 hours, but a housewife works around the clock. The CEO gets paid, and the housewife doesn't get a remuneration, and it's not even considered a job. And this was an article by Kriti Sharma, which I highly recommend because for me, it was very enlightening. Nowadays, women, we want to be in the professional field, but we also want to keep a family life. We have made some advancements. Women, they have outpaced men, and now there is a big number of women at universities and obtaining degrees. Women, at least in the United States, 42% are the breadwinners. And interesting, women are working more in the professional careers, but are also working 85% at home, doing the chores. What this actually means is that women are bringing up the bacon and frying it. Women, we also care 8 times more for sick or elderly family members. And interesting disagreements about who does what is the third cause of divorce. So forget about sexual incompatibility, infidelity, but the fact that they can't pick up the socks and they can't help you handle, I'm sorry, that's not allowed. Not in these days. Difference with heterosexual couples and homosexual couples, or same-sex couples, is that heterosexual couples, we choose chores by gender, and they choose by abilities. And women are a little bit like this. And I do actually remember when I had to do calls to clients, carrying my kid and trying to make a stew. I don't know if anyone can relate to this. So the interesting thing is that governments of all nations, exactly 193 nations, have agreed in 2015 that by 2030, which is not too long, there has to be all these goals reached. And I'm going to go not one by one. Why am I having problems with this? And I strongly agree that if we, can you actually see the graphics? If we start with equality at home, we can actually reach no poverty, zero hunger, good health, and well-being. Equality, education, and gender equality, and of course, decent work and economical work. And also, we can reach reduction of inequalities just by starting at home. In Spain, women are focusing on the household twice as much or more than men do. The interesting thing is that the Spanish government has detected this. And guess what? They have created an app. An app. So this can track down the hours that men and women living in the same household spend on chores. Do we need an app? Do we really need an app, I ask you? I mean, for me, this is just absurd. Do we need an app? Well, it's good, we need it, but we need a lot more than that. We need a mind change. We need to change our mindset. Because if we don't, first of all, we're going to go on the way to burnout, and things are not going to work. So, thanks for the app, Spanish government, but we need a lot more than that. You might have heard that women get stopped by something called the glass ceiling. How many of you have heard? How many of you believe this is true? Well, it might be in some cases, but there is another phenomenon that is actually affecting us, and that's the sticky floor. And again, I strongly believe if we work on equality at home, not only are we going to be able to clean the sticky floor, but we're going to be able to break the glass ceiling much faster and better. So no, it's not the glass ceiling. It's not that bad boss not letting you achieve your success in your career. But it's all the stuff that you are actually letting is stopping you from achieving what you want. So, if we talk about equality, we need to talk about something very important to integrate in a household. And this is called integrated leadership. And I'm not sure how you handle your house. I'm not sure how you handle your family. But if you don't integrate everybody on your family, most likely you will be doing all the work. So yes, let's do it with a more integrated approach and integrated leadership. And let me just tell you, it's not about just sharing who does the dishes. It's not just about the chores. It's about the workload. Because the workload behind that we carry, and I say we because I find myself sometimes like thinking in the middle, at 4 in the morning, like, oh my God, I didn't take the clothes to the dry cleaners. Like, really? Is that really important? But because I've been so busy during the day that those things pop out early in the morning. So it's not just about sharing the chores, it's about sharing the workload. And this is what actually causes the burnout. Because you are on the constant thinking, ticky, 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 constantly thinking. It's not just taking the kid to the doctor. It's all the things behind that you had to maybe pay the insurance, the medical insurance, or choose the right doctor, etc. You follow me? So it's not just about that. And this is what is called the invisible work. The interesting thing that is if we don't take action at home, where we actually have domain, the gender gap, it will take 131 years to close. Are we willing to pay this price when we actually have the solution in our hands? Or are we going to wait for the Spanish government or another government to create another app? So what can we do about this? Well, have some strategies in place. Where I grew up, I was told that women can do it all. And if you're a mom, she can do it. She has to do it. Well, guess what? No, you're not Wonder Woman. Stop the syndrome. Stop the Wonder Woman syndrome. You are a wonderful woman who knows how to delegate. And this is what leadership is about. Our leadership has to start from home. So if we don't know how to lead our own people, our own tribe, how are we going to pass the message at work that we are good leaders? When we go back to work, exhausted, burnout, and thinking if you bought the nappies or not, or if you pay the bills, the electricity bill or not. How? Self-control, self-leadership, and that starts from home. So stop the syndrome. Thank you. Stop that, because that is the easiest way to burn out. And another thing, if this lets me go, the syndrome, the Wonder Woman syndrome, is a clear sign of low self-esteem. It's a clear sign of limiting beliefs. That you have to do it all. That the more you do, you're more productive. Guess what? You're not. You're just going to be an hysterical woman, very tired. Your self-worth, ladies, is not on how much you do a day. It's how much you can delegate. You are a leader. And this takes me to the second point. I've already said that, but I'll say it again. You're a wonderful woman who knows to delegate. We talk about that in some cultures and in the past, the woman was the CEO, no? Comparing to the CEO who carries the household. Well, be that CEO. Be it. Be it at home. Become that CEO that you are. Because you have a great example where you can work on. And for that, I mean, be a creative expert in operation, which is a phrase I just learned recently, and I thought, sorry, Vera, from Toastmasters, I'm going to steal it because this is exactly what I needed. Be the CEO. Be so creative that you have everybody at home working, everybody doing things. Those things that you don't want to do, you have a way to let them do it. So, as a CEO, visualize. How do you want your household to be? How do you want your family to be? Do you want to be the best mother, the best father? Do you want to have the best kids? Visualize them, because this is what a CEO does. You also create a mission, a vision, and a code of conduct. Why is this important? Because when you create a code of conduct at home, you share your values. And values are what motivates people. These are the ones that takes us from A to B. And if we want to raise kids, if we want to have a happy family, we need to be aligned with our values. Have a vision, have a mission. Have regular families. Have a regular family with your husband, with your partner. Talk about finance. How we could plan in the future. The same way a CEO will do with his team or with her team. And create an environment that supports respect, mutual respect. And I know this probably sounds like, no need to say this. But honestly, there is a need. Because the way we talk to our kids, the way we talk to our husband, the way we talk to our partners, that will be exactly the way we talk to others. Because what we do one thing, we do most of the things. The way we talk to one person, we will talk to other people. So create this. And my third recommendation, Who is in your team? Who's part of your team? Often, and now more than ever, families are away. Like, for example, my kids were born in Malaysia, where I lived 12 years. So I have no support. I had no family network to rely on. So I had to identify who was in my team. Yes, my husband, my 2 little kids, but what about the friends? What about that supported network that can actually help me to achieve my goals? And as I said, delegate. So important to delegate. You need to delegate, because if you don't delegate, you're going to be stuck doing everything. Focus on their abilities. Focus on the strengths. Give positive feedback. Give them choices. Do you want to do it now? Do you want to do the dishes now? Or you want to do them in 10 minutes? The aim is the same. They have to do it. And share the workload. Nobody is a mind reader. What you're thinking, nobody's going to know that you have so much to do in your mind. And that's why you're so overwhelmed. If you want things being done your way, which I've heard that before, well, teach them your way. But give them a little way to do it their way as well. It's important. And stop the perfectionism. Stop the control. Because this is what is part of your sticky floor. So, according to me, equality starts at home. There is so much we can do. There is so much we can do at home. If we just start with these simple tips, with these simple strategies to implement at home, your life is going to be a lot better. I have worked on this for a long time. I have to say, and I'm happy to say that after that conversation I had with my husband while he was drinking his cup of tea, he agreed and he said, yes, you're right. We are in the same team. We are in the same boat. I will be more productive at home. And so he has. I encourage you to start your leadership at home. Stop the superwoman. Stop the Wonder Woman syndrome. Make sure who's in your team and work as a CEO. Thank you.